In the late 19th century, Japan decided that she would imitate Europe as much as she could, technology and so on, economic development. And one of the things she picked up, of course, from the European experience was the importance of colonialism, of having an empire. This was in some sense important economically, but also a way of defining yourself as a power. And from the 1890s onwards, Japan became an increasingly aggressive and imperial power. By the 1930s, what she hoped to do was to carve out in Asia an empire which would match the empires of the old European states, or indeed might even replace it. But her view of empire was essentially an old-fashioned view. Her view of empire was the view of empire people had in the 18th and 19th century, but it was a source of status and a source of economic well-being. In the years after the First World War, Japan tried, at least for 10 years, to be a good member of the International Club of Nations. She thought that there were strong possibilities of sustained economic growth and so on, and international collaboration. But by the late 20s, Japanese leaders, and particularly the Japanese military, had come to argue that there was no prospect really for Japan to become a major state or to develop economically unless she carved out some kind of empire for herself. That the West would always try and obstruct Japanese expansion, economic development, and so on. And that commitment was made really quite early on, a long time before the actual outbreak of the Second World War. And it meant that throughout the 1930s, Japan was slowly expanding, slowly building up a base which would create the opportunity, as she saw it, to carve out this new empire in Asia.